My name is Patrick McGee, and I am an MSAT engineer here in Burlington, Massachusetts. So MSAT stands for Manufacturing Sciences and Technology, so it's a bit of a mouthful. But pretty much what I do in my job is I help drug manufacturers, help them solve their problems. These drug manufacturers are making what we like to call biologics. So they're biologically active, things that go in your body and treat illness. So think of something like insulin for diabetes, or the flu vaccine, or the coronavirus vaccine. All types of things that I would be involved with and helping them out with. So pretty much, my day-to-day job really varies, but more often than not, I'm found here in this lab, and it's what I like to call home. It's a little loud, a little spacious, lots of stuff going on, but I really do love it here. Bit of a long story, but what got me into science, why I'm here, where I am today. As a kid, I would always ask, why do things, exist? Why are there, clouds in the sky? Why do things do certain things? And there's always an answer, and science always has an answer for it, whether or not we know it or not. Whatever the answer is, I was always curious about why, or how things operated. And the older I got, I took classes like chemistry when I got to high school, or even in middle school, physical sciences, and I would just learn more, and it was just so interesting to me. And eventually I got old enough, and I started taking these courses. I'm like, how can I do this forever? It was just something I felt really passionate about. But I loved chemistry, and I loved biology. So I'm like, what can I do that would still let me pursue those things? So I stumbled upon chemical engineering, and sounds really intimidating, but essentially you're a glorified plumber. You work a lot with pipes and pumps and what have you, but it's rewarding in its own right. So I went off to college, and 4 years later in a degree, I became a chemical engineer, and I graduated. And since then, I've worked here as an MSAT engineer. So on a day-to-day basis, and within my team as an MSAT engineer, I specialize in something called TFF, or tangential flow filtration. So it's a bit of a mouthful. Essentially, this is part of the drug purification process that allows us to concentrate a material. We can't take this entire tank and put it into somebody. That would be long and arduous process, but we can concentrate it down to make it the right level of stuff to give to a patient and help them feel better. Or maybe it needs to be in a different type of solution, so maybe the salts need to be different. TFF's a good application for that. So a customer, or an end user, a manufacturer, would use this type of system in their drug manufacturing process, and my job is to help them figure that out. If they're working at a really small scale, something a little like the size of this, or something that's sometimes almost the size of this room. It all varies, and at the end of the day, I get to be the plumber. Figuring out how those pumps connect to which tubes, and how fast to run everything, and all those different aspects I get to work with. And it sounds really boring, it'd be like I'm a filter expert, but at the end of the day, it's something that I'm really quite passionate about, and I'm proud of every single day to come into work and do what I do. Something I get asked a lot is, do I have to be a scientist to work in life sciences? And the answer is no, you really don't need to be. I wouldn't be able to do my job without people that aren't technically scientists. This lab runs because of hard work of people that they don't have a scientific background, but they love doing what they do. We have business people, we have administrators, all sorts of different people that come together and help me do what I do best. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. So I get asked, was going to school hard? And the answer to that, being an engineering major, pursuing engineering, it's hard and it's not at the same time. It's like anything you go to school for. You might like math, and you might think math is really easy for you, but you might not love English. And English can be really hard, or maybe you don't love science, and science can be different and hard in its own way. And going to college or going to university was similar to that. Not everything came super easily. I had to work hard for it, but at the end of the day, I pursued what I loved, and that helped me out. It was great to do something that you love. I also get asked, what's the favorite part of my job? And that's a tough question. because there's so many different things that I do. It's not just working with customers every single day or working with the drug manufacturers. Sometimes I'm here in my own lab, doing my own project, and that's fun in its own way. But another part of my job is teaching. I get to teach people how to do TFF. Teach them all the scientific theories and the practical parts. How do I actually hook this thing up? And I love teaching people. It's something I find really rewarding and something I frankly didn't expect to do when I joined this company. I joined my job and they're like, oh, you might have to teach some folks, and that's something I really enjoy as well. Thank you so much, and I hope this helps, and I hope you have a wonderful day.